I know you've been going through a lot of hard times. You usually never call out, but I got you a gift, okay?
Thank you,
I
boss.
hope it makes you happy, but because you deserve it, but check inside. Just check inside. I'm super excited to give you this. You never call off, and I was really worried about you. So I got you something special to cheer you up, okay?
Thanks, man. I appreciate this,
I
boss.
heard you've been going through a lot. And if you don't need to talk, you don't want to talk about it, you don't need to talk about it. But if you need a shoulder to cry on, just talk to about it. I'm always here for you. I think you're like a son to me.
Thank you, boss. I appreciate that. You've done a lot for me, actually. And Chanel, this definitely tops it off, man. This is... Oh. What's this? You know, if I'm gonna be entirely truthful, man, I don't think my dad's gonna make it, man. That was the whole reason I called off. I got a call from my sister saying my dad's not gonna make it, and so right now he's, I guess you would call it his deathbed. You would call his deathbed, and I had to go see him, and it's hard because it's hard for him to even talk. You know, it takes so much energy for him to move around or speak or anything like that. So when I saw him, I completely, you know, I broke down. You know, this was the man that raised me. This was the man that taught me to be nice with everyone. This is the man that taught me how to be a man. And now he's on his deathbed, and his life's just slipping away from his hands, and you could just see it, how pale and emotionless he is. And it's sad because when I was little, you know, he did a lot for me, whether it was doing job to job or putting food in my mouth. You know, he did so much, and at the end of the day, I wish I could give him all that back, but he did so much for me where it's just, I can never repay him for something like that. And even though he wasn't around, he still did what he could, you know. I remember when I was little, I got picked on because all these kids, they had bikes and you know, they had scooters and all this, but you know, I had nothing. I barely had enough for, you know, a used pair of shoes at the thrift store. But my dad, he got 3 jobs, and he worked his butt off day and night. And he did all that just to give me a bike for my birthday. I remember too, it was red shiny bike. It had 5-speed on it. Oh man, I would ride that bike everywhere. I remember I kept asking him to give me little pegs on the bike because I always wanted to take him with me, but he said no, you go do you. Because you know, even though at the end of the day, you know, I had a bike, my dad still had to work, he still had to provide. So so every time I rode that bike, I felt like, you know, I was always riding with him. And I still have that bike. I still have that bike somewhere. I think it's at his house. I think I'm gonna have to give it another spin, but I always felt like he was with me when I was riding that bike, because he worked so hard for it, man.
You okay?
Yeah, man, it's hard. It's hard knowing the man that loved me the most, man, that took care of me is gonna be gone soon, man. I'm sorry, boss. This is a lot right now for you. But yeah, I wish I could talk with him again, man. I wish I could give him a big hug. All I can just do is tell him how grateful I am for him, for everything he's done. even when we had nothing, you know. There was some times where, you know, we'd have to sleep in a car sometimes. You know, but he would still work harder and harder and harder every day. He told me don't be sad all the time because it's gonna lead you nowhere. And we all live in this thing called life, man, and there's no room for hate, man. No matter what color your skin is or anything. We all have this one thing in common, is that we're living life and we're lucky enough to be in it. So let's just all share it, and let's just share it and move forward in life. Because then soon you know it, you know, you could be angry at everyone, and then just like that, you know, your life could just end, and who's gonna miss you? Who's gonna remember you for anything, you know? So put a smile on people's faces, make sure that people love you, you know, because if you share the love, man, it's gonna come right back to you, and people are gonna remember you for being that person. People are gonna remember you for being hardworking.
What's the greatest life lesson your father ever told you?
Wow, greatest life lesson. He definitely told me don't. Oh, I know what it was. Said no matter how much hate and anger is thrown at you, it's better to just convert into happiness and spread it around. Because a person could throw so much hate at you, but if you're still kind to them, they have nothing else to be mad at you about for. And then you change their whole aspect on things, man. You start making them happy, and then they start spreading around positivity, and that's because of you. You did that. And that's what I remember. I remember being picked on and everything. And you know, a lot of people say that, you know, bullies deserve whatever comes to them, but at the end of the day, man, I always made it with my bullies, man. I would never be so mad I strike at them or anything like that, man. You know, I would teach them a life lesson by just being happy with them, man. And they would stop, you know, and they would sit down with me and be like, hey, man, I'm sorry I treated you like this, but enough talking, boss. I'm sorry. I got rambling and
No, it's okay.
I lost it. What's this? Applebee's gift card?
That's 500. Go buy your dad something nice. And, go buy your mom something nice. And take a couple days off. I need you to grieve and let it out, man. You can't lie to me about that fake smile. I know you're fake. I can tell when you have a fake smile.